You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
And welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Chrissie, and joining me is my co-host, Thad. Thad, how are you doing today?
I feel like something's going on. Not really. Things are feeling kind of drained of color. Just everything looks drab and gray at the moment.
Yeah, that happens. That happens. I usually find when that happens, I need to increase my Prozac.
How are you, Chrissie?
I'm doing all right. I've just recently been introduced to somebody that I'm told I know, but he looks nothing like he used to. So it's a little confusing. I think if he grows a beard, I might recognize him better.
All right, I'm going to talk about that because people on the internet have been annoying me again, but we'll get to that later.
Okay. Yes, we'll talk about it. Asterix, didn't think he did a bad job, just didn't realize I wouldn't have known it was core if they hadn't made a point of talking about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So, also joining us today is BQN's own Mark White. Mark, how are you doing today?
Doesn't matter if you're black or white. Woo!
All right.
There we go.
And the Gen X and millennials are clapping, and the younger people are going, what?
Come on, we don't have younger people who listen to this.
No, that's true. Yeah, what am I talking about? Right. Before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make this show possible, particularly our associate producer, Carl Wonders. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10, and your subscription of any amount at patreon.com/BQN keeps all of the shows on the network ad-free.
Man, if we get our own URL ending, that would be wild. That's when we know we've made it. If you just find our show at idic.bqn,
yeah,
I think we need to be a little bigger before they'll let us do that.
I think so too, but I can mispronounce things and dream, right? All right. Well, Thad, STLV, how was it? Make us all jealous that we
always is, and fantastic. I'm immersed in Star Trek for a week. How bad could it possibly be? I also can probably safely say this at this point, did not get sick this year, so also yay.
Yay!
Best thing probably is that I now have an Elcar's keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's sweet. Nice.
Yeah, Cherry Tree, who some listeners may know as the company that makes those ridiculous Borg Cube computer cases, which I have always lusted after and have not yet bought, but may someday. They last year had some Star Trek keyboards, but they were like basic plastic membrane style keyboards. And when I say membrane keyboard, if you don't know what I mean, it's probably the keyboard you have at your computer if you're not familiar, because it's the keyboard that uses the key presses down on a rubber dome. It's the basic cheap keyboard that a lot of people have, but they got a lot of feedback because this is a convention for nerds, and if nerds are buying custom keyboards, they want mechanical key switches. So they heard that feedback, and they had Elcar's mechanical keyboards this year, as well as we're selling the keycaps separately, which is great because that's how I got this. I just put those keycaps on my existing keyboard. They're not yet on their website, but considering how quickly they sold out at the con, I'm assuming they will be making more of those and putting them up on their website for sale. So keep an eye out on that. It's just Cherry Tree, I think it's just Cherry Tree is the name of the company. Maybe Cherry Tree Computing. Okay. But it's Cherry Tree Inc. That's what it is. And they're at mycherrytree.com. So they have a bunch of cool stuff there, including this year they also had gold-pressed Latinum USB flash drives, which was kind of cool.
Ooh, that's fun.
Only 16 gigabytes, but in today's storage market, that's probably all they could afford.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the keyboard definitely my best purchase this year. But it was a great con. Had a lot of fun. It was nice to meet all the Academy people, because most of the cast, all the main cadets were there. I got selfies with all of them, so that was great. Their panel was awesome, and Lower Decks panel was great. Another highlight for me was the Voyager panel. There was a panel with Jerry Ryan, Kate Mulgrew, and Tim Russ together. And Jerry and Kate played off each other amazingly in that panel. They were so relaxed and funny and just joking at off each other, which I knew years ago. Jerry and Kate had famously, made up and were no longer enemies. But it was nice to see that they're apparently actually friends. So that was cool.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. Right, and we got.
I had said previously I probably wasn't going to STLV next year, but I have already changed my mind. I'm not going to go for the whole con because I won't have the time. But I actually just booked a hotel for next year yesterday.
You can always cancel the reservation if you need to.
Exactly.
You got plenty of lead time. Yes, I appreciated what you messaged us about Tim Russ saying that he couldn't talk about whether or not he was in Spaceballs 2.
He specifically said he was sworn to secrecy about whether or not he's in Spaceballs 2, which obviously we all know means he's in Spaceballs 2. Because if he's not, then he could just say that.
Tim Russ, he don't know shit.
Exactly.
Well, cool. I am, envious again. One of these days I'll make it out there. So.
Oh yeah, and John Rhys-Davies was there this year, which was kind of cool. I got a photo with him. I was impressed at how energetic he is, especially because the man's in his 80s, but he was basically he was walking up and down across the stage to answer questions, and
he's 82.
He was
okay.
Yeah,
he's 82.
Mm-hmm. So saith Google.
Wow.
I would love to meet him and get him to sign a picture of his character from I, Claudius. That would be the thing that I would want to do with him.
And I'm sure he would be excited about that and tell you a story about making it too, because he's a very loquacious person and a very friendly person. His line in the vendor's room was quite long because he was spending forever talking to each person that would come up to him.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, not that he wasn't great as Da Vinci and all, but my first introduction to him was holding the kid's head up, so he stopped coughing.
I mean, my introduction to him would have been from Indiana Jones, but...
Oh, of course, yeah.
I was going to say same thing, Indiana Jones.
And of course, obviously, he's always going to be Gimli to me, but...
Yeah.
The other big thing at STOV this year, one of the big sponsors of the convention was Magic the Gathering, because they are this fall releasing the Star Trek Magic sets. Everybody got a welcome pack of cards when they went to registration at the convention, and the Facebook groups were filled with people offering to buy other people's cards because there was a different pack for each color of Magic. And so many people were trying to collect them all. I had not played Magic in years, although I did play because I got a white deck and I played against a friend who got the green deck and I got him completely destroyed. But I am trying not to get super into the Star Trek Magic because that will mean that I will need to buy all the cards. They do look really cool, though.
They do. Oh, well. I would rather spend my money on the Lego set. So
Yes.
cool as
Well,
it
I
is.
already did that. So.
Well, okay, yeah.
And I will buy every Star Trek Lego set as it comes out because obviously.
Mm-hmm. How can you not? I mean, it's just
Exactly.
if you are lucky enough to be able to do that, which is a whole other issue. So
there is that.
Yeah. Right. Well, now you have the cruise to look forward to in a few months.
Yes. Well, I mean, more than a few, but yes.
Well,
that's the end of February, but yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's actually pretty convenient how that and STOV are 6 months apart.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, there's no way I would be able to do both.
No. All right. Well, shall we talk about this week's episode of Strange New Worlds?
I think we shall.
It is titled A Case of
Chiaroscuro.
A Case of Chiaroscuro. Yeah, that. You know,
I like churros. Do you guys like churros?
Churros are good, yeah.
I love
have
churros.
no trouble with the Latin titles.
A case for churros.
Yeah. And I had to look this up because, okay, so the first time I watched this, I kept waiting. Like, I know I'm being very literal here, but that sounds like a type of alcohol, right? And it's set in a club, 1940s style. So I was thinking there was going to be something in a case of alcohol. And then
just
I looked
all
it up
Italian words sound like alcohol to you? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, it's
just Italians are such drunkards that all their words are alcohol. I see. I don't know where I'm going with this. Never mind.
That's okay. That's okay. I could make a joke because I'm half Italian. My mother's child of immigrants, and but my grandfather, whatever else he may have been, and he was a lot of not great things, he wasn't a drunk. So when you see the setting and the context of the word case, and I was like, oh, it's going to be.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of
right?
that type of case. Okay.
Yeah. See, and then I looked it up, and chiaroscuro is an art form that utilizes the contrast between light and dark. So that's a different type of case and a completely different word. But an apt title for sure. So, Mark, what are your thoughts on this episode?
Well, I think I told you guys at the beginning before we even started recording that last week's episode definitely gave me like the more fun, whimsical vibe, but this definitely I think was great. It's in my wheelhouse as far as like being cinematic. I love a good film noir, and this was, to me, I felt like they really paid homage to the genre, and something fun about it. Like, it was very much, it reminded me a lot of TOS, because if you remember, like in TOS, like they go to a lot of planets where everybody kind of looks human, and here we are at another planet where everybody kind of looks human. So I loved that aspect of it. It was very throwbacky. I got vibes from 3 different episodes, and I told Amy Nelson about this as well. And you may agree, you may disagree, you may think that I'm on drugs, which I'm not. But so I was thinking about 3 episodes. I thought about Best of Both Worlds. I thought about The Royale.
Yeah.
And I thought about Year of Hell. Yeah, I know none of it all kind of makes sense, but I feel like in this particular episode, it does.
Okay.
What I will say about the other episodes that I mentioned is I felt like those episodes had a really tight story, a really tight script, and they were very cohesive. I feel like this had pieces of all of those in it, but kind of without the cohesion. It was mostly tied together, but I felt like there were some loose threads that kept it from being one of those other great episodes. I still thought it was great. We don't really, I don't do ratings here. We do it on Cinema Z, which I'm host of on this network. But I would say for this episode, I told Amy Nelson, I said I gave this one kind of like a 3.5 out of 5. So almost a 4. I mean, it's, I thought it was a really good episode and definitely rewatchable. It's a classic one. Yeah, and we'll get more into it, but yeah, that was first impressions. That's kind of how I felt about it.
All right. Thad.
I really enjoyed it. I had trouble suspending my disbelief about, and I realize this is a trope in film noir, but I had trouble suspending my disbelief about, oh, there just happened to be a character that looked just like Una. But I did really enjoy it. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more after at STOV. I was at one point talking to one of the hosts of Strange New Pod, Giraffe, and she said that I should really watch the movie Casablanca because I'd never seen it, because it is a very heavy influence on this episode.
Yes.
And I did watch that this week, and it absolutely is. And
they don't even try to hide it.
No, and even I got the of all the gin joints reference because
one of the most famous lines in the film. I'm like, I kind of eye rolled at it, but I also appreciated it at the same time.
Well, I almost felt like that was even the characters in universe referencing Casablanca.
Absolutely, yeah, that's how I read that
for sure.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I watched Casablanca. First off, fantastic movie. Highly recommend it. It's currently on HBO. And just a really good classic movie. It deserves all of the reputation it has. And this episode definitely takes a lot from it, which is obvious. And I think having seen that really enhanced my enjoyment of this movie. Of this episode.
Have you seen Maltese Falcon?
I have not.
That's also another one. If you like that, you might like Maltese Falcon as well.
Yeah. I thought it was a great episode too. I have not seen Casablanca. It's one of those great films that I haven't gotten around to. As we all have those lists. But yeah, the inspiration was pretty clear there and well done too. Getting back to the old tropes from the original series where you've got the aliens are the Nazis and the good guys are the humans, and it's just it doesn't make it what's the word I'm looking for? It's
what I love. One of the things I love about Strange New Worlds, and I've probably said this a 1,000 times, is that it doesn't make any illusions that it's not like in the TOS era, right? Like it's purposely that. It's goofy at times, it's fun, they're serious when they need to be, but like I love how hard they kind of lean into that. And so when we have, like Thad was mentioning, like, oh, like, Una looks just like that other person that was on that planet. I'm like, yeah, they would totally do that with TOS. Like when Shatner was playing both Kirk and his brother, right? In that episode where his brother's like dead, you see his corpse. But it's the same thing where like, okay, they are identical. Like it's the same face. One just has a mustache or something. Yeah, and it was very TOS-y, and I don't know. They can get away with it in a way I think other Star Trek shows wouldn't be able to. But cool.
That particular element reminded me of, and this is fitting because it's actually also in black and white. There was a Doctor Who serial, The Enemy of the World, is a second Doctor story in which they come to this world where it turns out the Doctor looks just like the evil dictator of this world, and he takes his place and hijinks ensue.
Cool. Yeah, those I really have to suspend my disbelief with those because those always bother me where it's like, okay, they might look exactly like the person, but do they sound like the person? Do they have
Right.
the same mannerisms? Do they, forget that they're not supposed to be speaking Federation standard on this planet, or English, or whatever it is going to be. So yes, it's that whole thing of, okay, when watching an episode of Star Trek, just go with it. It works. So
yeah. At least we didn't have to deal with the whole pre-warp thing because they were all like advanced. So that was good. They all had ships.
Yeah, there was no question there. I appreciated that. All right, well, let's get into it. We start off with Una and Uhura and Mbenga on a shuttle going to recover a probe that has floated into Klingon space in an area where there's some kind of fill in the technobabble radiation that is causing everything to be in black and white, which I thought was a nice touch that they actually explained in a logical way. Yeah.
Something I thought would have been cool is when Mbenga says maybe the blast shields will help, and they lower the blast shields, if like the interior had turned into color for like that one scene. I thought that would have been
It should have.
Yeah, I was expecting
totally should have. Yeah.
Even like if they had done it like old style, like not quite good colorized kind of color. Yeah.
But TOS Technicolor.
Yeah. Yeah. It also made me think of The Giver. Have you guys read or watched?
Oh yeah.
Giver?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call out. I love The Giver.
Yeah. Fun fact, Lois Lowry used to live in the town where I grew up.
Ah, cool. Very cool. She's wonderful. Listeners, if you haven't read or seen The Giver, it's one of the few times that I will say a movie does decent justice to the book.
I didn't even realize it was a movie.
Oh yeah. God, it's probably about 10 years ago now.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, but I haven't seen it. But
it's good. Yeah.
I remember I read the book like when I was like a preteen, and then I had to read it in high school, and had already read it before. And it's a very good book.
Love it when that happens. Yeah, and it's actually a series. There's like 3 other books after it that tell the story of other people in the community.
They get progressively weirder, but yes.
They do, but yeah, if you have not seen or read that, I highly recommend it. It is like a preteen level book, I would say. It's a quick read for an adult. And then go pick up Lois Lowry's Number of the Stars and read that.
Oh, yeah.
Try. But it's good. So anyway, so they have this whole black and white, everything's in black and white thing. Very cool. And they get the probe back to Enterprise, but then just as they're about to get back home, the Klingons show up and they have to go hide on the planet. And as I have in my notes, they're very lucky that the people on this planet look like humans from the 1940s, so they can blend in. So yeah.
I will say there was a couple of things visually that I liked, but not only that, like it was shot like so film noir, like the shadows and the lighting and everything were just, and they couldn't have been more perfect. They did a great job with that, but also like I liked the use of like the distorted kind of crappy hologram that there. So it was like early holograms were sort of flickering in that. I liked that. I also liked the casting, like the guy that they got to be like the main Klingon. I hope they bring him back in the Star Trek universe to maybe play other aliens and stuff, because what an actor. Like I don't know who he is, but he had this gravitas and this energy that I felt like, I was like, wow, like they got somebody good this week to be the guest, like, lead, the heavy. I was really impressed
making
by
me
him.
think of a young James Earl Jones.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
100%.
But I will say that the torture scene is where I got kind of a little bit of Best of Both Worlds vibes. But like instead of 4, it's like, there are 20 lights.
You mean Chain of Command?
Oh, I'm thinking Best of Both Worlds. Yeah, Chain of Command. Okay, there we go. Yeah. There are 20 lights.
Yes.
But I will say, Uhura, though, she was. I I don't know. Like, I felt like when she was done getting tortured, she should have just jumped off the chair and walked away at it like a fast pace. And I'm like, it looked like she was being tortured. So shouldn't she have been like, oh, I can barely move? Like, that was a little took me out of it just when she was done with the torture. During the torture, it made sense. She looked, uncomfortable. But when she got up off the chair to walk away, I was like, okay, she's a little too energetic right now. It's like she just had a job interview and is going out to smoke a cigarette.
It's adrenaline. She's just, I'm going to get away from here and then collapse.
Okay.
I'll
go with that.
Explain it for you. Yeah. But no, I don't disagree. I was expecting her to. And as is often the case in these types of movies, her hair and makeup stayed perfect despite the torture, right?
The sound effect, though, for the torture was cool. The staticky kind of, that was also kind of like 1940s, like sound effecty, I like that.
The actor who plays Core is named Damore Barnes, and I now realize, looking at his IMDb page, I now realize where I have seen him before. He was in the Starz show American Gods.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I haven't watched that, but I heard good things.
Another one on my list.
It starts out great, anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, Una gets mistaken for a collaborator named Navette. Because everybody has their doppelganger in the universe, and we're going to find it at some point. And then we go to the credits, which were not in black and white.
They should have been. They absolutely should have been. Although I do now appreciate that one sequence in the credits this season that is in black and white.
Yeah, that gives you a reason why. Yeah, it would have.
But I think the whole credits should have been black and white this episode.
They should have done in black and white and then done the scene that was in black and white and color.
One of the things that they did in Discovery that I thought was fantastic is they had that NASA footage that they reused for like the opening credits for, I think, one of the episodes. Where they were sort of going through the solar system and it was like all black and white, like NASA footage that was like in 4K or whatever. I don't even do you guys not remember that? Anyway, that was one of my, it was Discovery.
Okay.
Anyway, that was one of my favorite openings, I feel like. So anyway, you'll have to go back and look at that one.
Yeah, do you remember which episode it was? Because that's I think I hear that and I think of Enterprise more than anything.
No, it was Discovery. It was
maybe... yeah, I trust you on that. I just
I don't know if it wasn't the last season. I feel like maybe it was the next to last season that they did it. Anyway, I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I did like when Discovery did that Mirror Universe 2-parter in season 3, weren't the credits like inverted colors? I seem to remember that.
Yeah, I think they did that then as well, because that is also what they did in Enterprise when they had it.
Yeah. The Enterprise Mirror Darkly credits were great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, good luck Googling that, because even putting in Star Trek Discovery NASA footage, it's mostly NASA Discovery, Anyway.
Oh, yeah, that'll... yeah, the Space Shuttle Discovery.
Yeah. All right. I do love it when they use stuff like that, when they connect the real world. So, all right. So this group of collaborators is operating out of a nightclub, okay? And of course, Una has to pretend to be this person and be the baddie too. Okay, so she's got to. It made me think of Tilly, going back to Discovery. When she has to play evil Tilly, and of course, Una does not have the type of problem that Tilly had with that. She just kind of goes into it beautifully. And like Mbenga says, she's used to pretending to be someone she's not, and that comes through. Yeah.
I found it.
Hey, all right.
And I was not correct, actually. I thought it was later on, and it wasn't. Star Trek Discovery used real-life archival footage from NASA's Cassini spacecraft in season 2 premiere episode titled Brother. The black and white imagery of Saturn and its rising system appears during the cold open underneath Michael Burnham's opening monologue as she recites the iconic Space, the Final Frontier.
I remember
and
that
was my favorite one. And the reason I brought it up and the reason I remember it is because I was so blown away by the imagery that I went to NASA's website and I took like some of the screenshots from the probe and I just had it as my background for like my wallpaper on my computer and my phone for a while because it's so striking in black and white. There's something about it. It was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Now that you mentioned now I remember that. So.
And that would have been recent footage at that point because Cassini passed Saturn in 2017.
Oh, so why was the footage black and white? I don't know. Maybe whatever.
It's probably more durable hardware to put it on the.
When was Cassini sent out?
1994. I think
90s. Yeah. Okay.
It takes a while to get to Saturn.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like.
1997 is when it was launched.
97. Okay.
And apparently it orbited Saturn from 2004 to 2017, so that footage could have been.
Oh, okay.
Older than that.
Still not an era of only black and white footage, but yeah.
No, but it still could have been in 1997. Just thinking about this kind of stuff you have to put on a spacecraft is like it has to be very durable, has to be very reliable. So you're going to use some of the oldest, most tried and true methods, and
100%.
Yeah.
It was also, I believe, the footage was 4K or close to that. It was very high quality for being black and white. For my recollection, anyway.
And also, there are images. Okay, I'm looking at a color image of Saturn from Cassini too. So they may have just chosen stylistically to make it black and white in Discovery.
Yeah. Either way, it's cool.
Yeah.
So Uhura is feeling very out of her element, and Mbenga. This is one of the episodes where we get all of those little bits and pieces about Mbenga's past. Yeah, just slowly, putting that out there. It makes me like when this show started, I was very disappointed that we didn't have the Mbenga that is in the
original series.
The novel, that set of novels on the space station.
The Vanguard novels.
Vanguard, thank you. Yeah, and I'm glad. I like this Mbenga. Not necessarily saying I like it better. They're both very good, but this works. We don't have a lot of unabashedly dark characters on Trek who are part of the good guys. I mean, he's getting into an area of he's getting into a gray area like Garrick at times, but without having been a Nazi equivalent, So I really like that. So he coaches Uhura through it, and she uses his advice later.
Yeah, and she uses his hometown as her last name, which I thought was neat.
And I didn't know that until I went. It was either on Memory Alpha or the Trek Core article.
I didn't know that either, but it was when she said it's the name of her friend, and he taps his heart. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, I know what that
something
meant.
to do with him. But
yeah.
Right. So then we have interspersed in this, we have the B plot of La'an and her trying to figure out what went on with the probe and her concerns about potential tampering and also how her brain is operating now.
Boo, hiss.
Okay, I was going to ask how you feel about it, but that tells me.
What the actual? Anyway, sometimes this happens in Trek when you have the A plot and the B plot. Sometimes the B plot just isn't. And I was just, every time it was on, I was like, can we just fast forward past this crap? Because it just was, I don't know. So the character they introduced, I think early on this season of like the Vulcan, I don't mind the character. I just think that the actress God love her, but she kind of sucked. She's not a good actress. I feel like to be at the same level as these other actors on the show, she's just not there. She should be doing commercials for coffee or something. I don't know, but not this. Because when she's on screen, it just takes me right out of it. She's just not very good. In my opinion. I don't know. I even think that the actress that wasn't an actress in the Enterprise there that played T'Pol, like, I didn't think she was great either, but she was still better than this girl. Like, in my opinion. So anyway, that's a side tangent. People can come at me. It's fine. But also, like, I don't feel like it was necessary. And I feel like that's one of the things that muddied the plot. I feel like had they just sort of not done that or done something else that was, I don't know, not as complicated of a plot device, then it might have helped streamline the A plot more. Because we kept jumping from the A plot itself was pretty, complex. They had a lot going on there that they were trying to get across. And then you had this B plot that I felt like was also kind of, there was a lot going on, and the audience was asked to sort of figure it out along the way with them. And so I felt like having the two kind of puzzly things operating at the same time just sort of muddied the episode for me. It took me out of it. I wasn't into it. I was like, give Leon something else to do. Maybe have her like scared of like heights and have to learn from one of her colleagues that, how to zip line or something. I don't know. Like that, have it be, kind of lighter and more like, I don't know, fun, because the other one was heavy, right? So it would have been a good balance.
So you want the DS9 style with the whiplash between the A and the B?
Well, I mean, I felt like it would have balanced the episode more.
That sounds like one of the episode synopses from Found Trek episodes.
It does.
On Blue Sky, and yeah.
I
mean, I love it.
Follow that. I probably should. I love Blue Sky.
Found Star Trek episodes is great. They make fake TV guide summaries of fake episodes of Star Trek, and it's always absurd stuff like that.
Okay, I'm following. You guys gotta send me the link. I'm totally following that.
Yeah. Something wonderfully serious and like deep and impactful, and you go, God, I wish that they had made this episode. And then the next thing is like, and Data and Geordi have to find Spot, who's hiding in the Jeffries tube.
So here we go. The most recent one is it's when Q is accused of a capital crime, he enlists Janeway to lead his defense team. Naomi Wildman opens a detective agency, and her first client is Harry, who wants her to find his missing promotion.
Yeah. And he's always got, I say he, I'm not sure who's running the account. The person who runs the account always has these really cool bits of other things that were on at the same time. So like you'll get the synopsis of half of a very strange movie, and then you'll get the title,
like right under this
Voyager
movie, one.
Yeah,
they list a movie, Gilmore Tank Girls, starring Lori Petty and Alexis Bledel.
If this isn't a great advertisement for Blue Sky, I don't know what is. The most creative, interesting, intelligent people that left Twitter all ended up on Blue Sky. If you guys aren't there and you're listening to this podcast, create an account, check it out for yourself. If you're confused by the platform, reach out to any of us. We will help you. And we want you to love it as much as we do. That's all.
And if you're still on Twitter,
why?
Don't be.
Yeah.
This episode has been sponsored by Blue Sky.
Oh, and there's always, for the next gen ones, there's always some fun Transporter Chief cameo.
Yes, they always say Transporter Chief, and then they'll pick the wildest actor to say who plays it. Yeah.
Cool. This was a good. Okay, the one, and then we'll get back to the episode. The one from a couple days ago. Trapped on a barren planet with no way to call for help, Tasha and Worf meet a precocious alien, Steve Martin. Picard and Riker play rock, paper, scissors for control of the battle bridge. Transporter Chief, Gary Larson. And the title of the episode is Mr. of Pompeii.
So
God.
Is there an actor named Gary Larson, or is this the guy who wrote The Far Side that they're
The Far Side?
Who wrote Far Side, yeah.
The Far Side. Perfect. Love it.
Amazing.
And random. I mean, why not? If Iggy Pop can be on, Gary Larson can too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. that first one, you go, wow, that's a really good, that would have been a really good story. And Steve Martin, I would have loved to have seen him on track. How cool would that been? But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's just at found episodes dot blue sky dot whatever the rest of that is. If you look up found episodes, so
yeah. Or just search found Star Trek. It'll come up.
Yeah.
All right.
Or if you're Mark, you can click the link I sent you.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, bless you. Not all heroes wear capes.
So, right, we were talking about the B plot, right? I glommed the B plot together because, like you said, Mark, it's associated, but it's not, and I think it's easier just to talk about all in one hit here. La'an thinks that because one of the chips appears to be out of place and or damaged, she's worried that it's missing data, so she thinks there's a saboteur aboard. Spock, no. He does not agree. He sees no reason to jump to that conclusion. But Pike says, if you think there's a problem, look for it.
Why should we care, though? I don't know. I didn't see a reason to care.
On first watch, didn't you think the plots were going to come together at some point?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
So
I thought we were going to find out that the Klingons knew they were there the whole time and are doing secret stuff.
Yeah. But then it ended up just being a wet fart.
Well, so you were talking about the new Vulcan cadet, Asha. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. She bothered me. I'm the acting. I mean, she's supposed to be wooden because she's Vulcan, so I'm not. I think that's.
But there's a way to do it, and then there's a way to do it where you're just being a robot. I am just a robot. Like that, she came across very much like I am just a robot.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. She gets a direct order from a superior officer and says, "No, I'm doing something else." What? That didn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't just do that.
Yeah. And then La'an has to, instead of saying, "No, I've asked you to do this," okay. So she kind of finagles her into looking at the probe and whatever. We find out that Scotty was using it basically to a signal that they see when they're dealing with the probe stuff, that he's bouncing off the Klingon ship like an old-fashioned kind of radar thing. But to me, the best part of this is that we are seeing Scotty and Ortegas now have this friendship going, and it's goofy and it's fun, and I love it.
Oh, and I know you caught this, and everybody caught this, and so I don't feel special about catching this. But the throwaway line about being stuck in the transporter buffer, I was "Oh, that's dark," but also
in a transporter buffer. Yep.
Yeah. So last week we were I think we came to the conclusion that the severed thumb was not a reference to James Doohan, but that transporter buffer was absolutely a reference.
Oh, 100%. The thumb was.
No, because it would have been the middle finger if it was.
He lost his middle finger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's where my head went too. Oh, all right. Well, never mind.
Well, we'll have to. Sounds like a good question to ask. Should we ever run into the appropriate people to ask at a convention?
The writers of this episode were not at the convention, and I obviously could not have asked them about it at a panel because the episode hadn't come out yet.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't saying you should have asked them last weekend. I was saying, should any of us, and you're the most likely of us to run into somebody, but no, I would be interested to know that. But this for sure is definitely an in-universe reference, and
for sure, 100%.
One that kind of raises the hair on your arms because, while it is, it is really cool. Like, oh, Scotty stayed in the transporter buffer, and then you think about how close he came to dying and how the other guy that was with him died, and it's just kind of
oh yeah.
But I like that they're being friends now, and it's good. It's good. And then we get Chapel Chapel continues to be wonderfully fleshed out as a character because she goes in and she was the one that tampered with it so that the medical ship that went in against orders does not show up.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I think the
Yes and no.
season 1 and season 2, I felt like they very much knew what to do with her character, and I feel like this season they're kind of like, is this season 3 or 4?
We're in season 4 now.
Okay, so season 3 as well. Season 3, I felt like they started to lose her, and this season as well. They're just kind of not sure how to write her at this point. That's the vibe that I'm getting. Because she's sort of been now resigned to sort of a background character. She's here and there, in and out, like more.
Yeah, it did feel a bit like this was the thing they had to add to make sure that
she had something to do.
She gets her contractual appearance this week.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like it would have been okay to leave that in there, and that Starfleet would have been like, I mean, how often does this sort of thing happen on Star Trek? Constantly. Like, Starfleet would have been like, well, you shouldn't have done that, but you did a good thing. Like, I don't think they would have actually gotten in trouble for that.
Here's what bothers me about it. Okay. As we're given to understand it, Chapel worked with that captain, and it was requested of her to do this. So that captain, instead of owning up to doing this thing, asked a subordinate who would feel that they do not have the ability to say no because this is coming from a superior officer to falsify information.
Yeah, and how often do Kirk and Picard do exactly that sort of thing all the time, but they would never have put pressure on someone else to cover it up.
Particularly for something that is so obviously humanitarian.
Right. Like, I don't even think Starfleet Command would have been mad about this.
The captain would have gotten a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
You know. But
it would have been the thing that you see so many times where the Admiral officially has to tell you, oh, you did a bad job, but unofficially they're like, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, this is the era of cowboy diplomacy, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So I like that Chapel is... I like that Chapel's willing to bend the rules. I don't like that, in this case, that she was put in a position of doing that.
Yeah.
I also, one more thought on the random Vulcan number 17, is that they kind of, so the first, 3 seasons, we've had like the same sort of primary cast for the most part. They keep, introducing random people, but the random people, for the most part, have been people from TOS, right? Bringing on Scotty and whatnot. And so that makes sense. This, random Vulcan 17, she, like, I feel the same way about her that I felt about the random people they added in Discovery, like the last couple of seasons, that it just felt really we didn't need to be there, because we were all complaining that we were trying to learn about these characters on Discovery that had been there since the first episode, and we didn't get it. A bunch of those dudes,
I was constantly getting confused for each other. The bridge, the couple bridge crew guys that they added in the last season. I'm like, oh, I don't even remember which one this one is.
Right. And so they're doing this here with this character. It's like, no, we didn't. You were kind of unnecessary. I don't know.
I do wonder if they added this character because they've lost some characters. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but Mitchell isn't here this season.
Oh yeah.
Who?
The navigation officer.
Yeah.
Oh,
the woman who sat next to Ortegas.
The woman who sat next to Ortegas. She's not here this season.
So who's there?
Some other person.
Nobody.
Oh. Someone whose name we have not been given.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like so far her purpose has been to embarrass Uhura because she didn't have her Vulcan pronunciation correct. And in this episode, she did something that could have easily just been La'an looked at the data and then went and talked to Scotty and Ortegas. So I'm hoping that there's a reason that she's there and she's just they're just putting these little pieces of stuff with her, and then there's going to be a reason, you know.
If they wanted to bring a random person on, why didn't they bring on like a new Chekhov?
Because Chekhov's like 12 at this point.
Yeah, Chekhov would still be in the academy. Well, she's a cadet too, so they still could.
She is. That's true. That's true. And if they were going to replace the navigation officer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a point.
Anyway.
So also, if they're going to make Scotty 10 years younger, why not make Chekhov 5 years older?
Why not?
Yeah.
What I want to know is if we do see Chekhov, is he going to have the wonderful monkey's haircut? That's just, he has to.
So I will also say, I'm in a group chat that I'm in after everybody watched this episode. Someone described the Vulcan cadet, whose name I don't even remember.
Number 17.
As that saying that she should be sent packing at least to the brig or something for her attitude. She's like Gary Graham on steroids minus the warmth.
Oh.
They want us to really like her so that at the end of this season we can get the payoff where they kill her.
That might be.
Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed.
Oh.
So anyway, yes, everyone in the group chat all agreed that she sucks. So anyway.
I'm vindicated, yes.
No,
Chrissie,
the
I have a
character's
question.
terrible. 100% you were correct, Mark.
I have a question for Chrissie.
Ask away.
Specifically, Chrissie, how did you feel about the Trojan horse line?
It is how it's colloquially used, and it's also
it's not in the Odyssey. I have that in my notes because she specifically says it's from the Odyssey, and it's not in the Odyssey.
Well, it is, but not really. It's only briefly mentioned casually in the Odyssey. It's mostly in this Latin poem that I hadn't even heard of.
The
before.
Aeneid.
The Aeneid.
Yeah.
Which, ironically enough, because yes, the original stories in which the Trojan horse existed in Greek don't exist anymore, but they did exist, and that's why they're not really mentioned in the Odyssey or the Iliad, because there were
Nobody
other stories
needed
that
to be reminded.
Yeah.
But how good is the timing that this episode drops around the time the Odyssey actually comes out?
And that had to have been a coincidence, considering how long ago they were doing the production.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here's what bothered me about this. Okay, in the context that she's using it, and understanding that that's where it comes from is fine, but in the context that she's using it, that is more the term that's used for a program that's put in.
Yeah.
To cause problems. So saying it's from the Odyssey makes less sense than saying that's a term for an older term.
And in fact, when I hear Trojan horse, my first thought is actually the type of the software exploit, not.
In this case, that was what I thought of too.
So it is weird that she would go back to the etymological origin of the word rather than its, what it's used for these days.
And I think it's also weird that they explained it as opposed to saying, like having Spock say, I don't think that there's an implanted virus in this or something like that. Because this should be like mentioning the Trojan horse was to the people who were listening to recitations of the Iliad and the Odyssey. They just know what it is. So.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know if you caught that as well, but it seems like you both caught it. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, if they're going to go to that trouble, I want to hear Spock say he read it in Greek or something like that. Give us a reason for like, oh yeah, I read that in, the Aeneid in the original Latin or something.
That would have been better for the nerd fans.
Yeah.
Which are all of us kind of, yeah.
I love that the Aeneid is thousands of year old fanfic that we still have. Because that's basically what it is. It's Virgil was like really liked Homer's story, so he wrote his own fanfic.
Yeah, well, it's not. I mean, it is using stories that existed.
Yeah,
because there was the whole. It's briefly, listeners don't know. The Aeneid is the story of Aeneas, who leaves Troy. What is it? He's carrying his son. And he's got his son by the hand and he's carrying his father, and that represents the past and the future. And he goes around the Mediterranean and has a bunch of adventures and ends up in Italy, and then his descendants are the people who create Rome. Okay.
It was also propaganda.
Short version. It was. I was going to get to that. Yes. So he's writing under the Emperor Augustus, who was not emperor, but he's writing under Augustus, who has taken over after Julius Caesar's death, and then there was the war with Antony between those two, and Antony and Cleopatra. If you know that story, that's this period. The Julii Caesari, the family that Julius Caesar came from, and that Octavian, who became Augustus, was kind of adopted into, okay, not kind of adopted into, he was born into it, but adopted into that part of it, trace their descent from Venus and Aeneas, because Aeneas's mother was supposed to be Venus. And so the Aeneid was a way to show that Augustus had legitimacy in more than one way in having control over Rome and all of that. And you know what? We're back to I, Claudius. And I'll stop there. But yeah, so yeah, fanfic is great.
Yeah. And I admit, I mean, some of the things I've read over the years, but most of my knowledge of the Aeneid goes back to the Wishbone episode from way back when.
Oh. Wishbone was a little bit past my time. My sister watched it, but from what I have heard and seen, it was a wonderful thing because it introduced kids to literature, which is great.
Although like I said, there have been many books that Wishbone did that I have never actually read the real book, and I just know of it from Wishbone.
Well, at least you aren't watching the movie, which has drastic changes, and then pretending you read the book. And then being called out because you watched the movie and it has drastic changes.
Oh, I'm sure that happens a lot, actually.
All right, so in the Lon secondary story basically ends with her keeping things undercover for Chapel.
I did enjoy when Pike asked her if she found anything. She's like, actually, yes. Did you know that Scotty and Ortegas are friends now?
But there was that nice little gap. There was just long enough for you to go, oh, is she going to tell? And then, yeah. So we go back to the planet.
But also, if she had told Pike, he would have also been like, nah, we don't have to report that.
He would not have cared.
Oh, 100%.
Given how many things Pike has already not reported on this show.
He would have called up the other captain and said, what's wrong with you? Why are you calling my subordinates to,
you should have called me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have done it yourself, but... So... Because what would have happened if the probe hadn't gone off course and the Enterprise hadn't had to pick it up?
Yeah.
The information just would have been... Whatever. Okay. So, back to the planet. Una takes on this interrogation of this woman who's supposed to be a resistance operative, or she is a resistance operative. The operative was actually working for her, as we find out shortly after that Nivette is a double agent. This is where we meet Core. And I recognize that they could not get a young John Colicos to play this, obviously, but they could have done a little bit more with the makeup to make him look more like Core that we saw on DS9, if nothing else, you know.
I'll give them that, but I mean, at the same time, we have seen, even from DS9 and TNG, we have seen Klingons who are ostensibly the same character have different cranial ridges depending on when they show up.
How many ridges have we seen Worf with?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, look at season 1 Worf and season 7 Worf, and you're going to tell me that's the same forehead?
Or even Worf from Picard.
DS9. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, in my head canon, I love headcanon. In my headcanon, one of the reasons why Klingons are always kind of mad is because their face is constantly being reconstructed from the inside out. Like they're just, their ridges just evolve through time. Like, as they get older, they start looking different in my headcanon.
I could actually see that as it develops with age, like wrinkles or something, but much.
Oh, my head hurts so bad right now. I need some Klingon, ibuprofen.
That's why they're all drunk on blood wine all the time.
There we go.
So, there has been some discussion online. Some people are complaining that he has ridges at all.
Yeah,
and I get that. I 100% understand the complaint. At the same time, that ship sailed in the 90s when he showed up on DS9 with ridges.
Yeah. Well, remember that was explained.
No, it wasn't.
No. Okay. Wait.
Okay.
Explained in quotes. Okay. People's headcanon at the time was that he had corrective surgery.
Okay, that was never said on screen.
That was never said. I'm not saying it was said. Okay. But I think that got in people's heads. And then once we had the explanation on Enterprise, I think that actually reinforced it because of the establishment of this is a second-class citizen group of Klingons, and so they would want to, get away from that as much as they possibly could. I know none of this was said on screen. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, this is all people's headcanon and novel canon, and I get it. I totally understand, because I absolutely understand wanting to make the connection and make the explanations, but at the same time, the show is under no obligation to use any of that.
Nope. And I think
And the simple fact is, they have decided that in Strange New Worlds, the Klingons have ridges. They are never going to explain why they don't in TOS.
No.
I realize there was the Enterprise episode that was done to explain that, but they have decided that Klingons are going to have ridges in the same way that they randomly decided they would in Star Trek The Motion Picture, and then Enterprise explained it 25 years later, but unnecessarily, yeah. So the simple fact is, Klingons have ridges in Strange New Worlds. Yes, it's the same character. No, the character didn't have ridges in TOS, but he did on DS9, and you're just gonna have to accept that.
Ladies and gentlemen, at least be grateful that they don't look like Discovery Klingons, okay? Just take the win. Take the win.
I don't hate the Discovery Klingons, but I do agree.
I don't either. He could have had a beard. They could have put a beard on him, and that would have helped, I think. But that's, maybe Core decided to grow the beard after that. Whatever. I mean, obviously he did, but I just lost my train. Oh, right. I honestly do believe that if Roddenberry had had the ability to do it, he would have gone back and remastered the original series episodes so that the Klingons had ridges.
Probably.
If he could, because that's what he wanted to do, and they just didn't have.
Yeah, he said that the way they looked in TMP is how he always wanted them to look, but they couldn't afford to do that.
So we're just retconning.
If Roddenberry had lived into the late 90s, would we have gotten the George Lucas version of TOS?
Quite possibly. Man, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
And they could honestly make, with technology now and deepfakes, they could remaster the original series using Strange New Worlds Enterprise sets.
Oh,
yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
I mean, I don't want them to do that, and also I do not want to see the discourse about that.
I'm sorry, but I would watch the crap out of that, just I don't know, out of curiosity.
Oh no, I would watch it if they did it. I don't need them to do that, and I absolutely don't want to be part of the fandom when they do that, because people will lose their minds.
I want the real Enterprise.
Yeah, exactly.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
And it's the A. It's before the A, before the A.
Mm-hmm.
It's the O1 before the A. Yeah. All right.
But not the first one, just the first.
Oh, Jesus. Right. Stop that. Stop.
Not the NX. And not the one with the bubble for the... That was supposed to be the NX. Right. So, aside from looks... and how they did the makeup, whatever. I think this core was very good.
Yeah. And I thought there were a couple times where I felt like he was overemphasizing words, trying to be a little bit like Colicos, and I appreciated that. I do think it wasn't a Colicos performance. John Colicos had a very distinctive acting style that was not going to be replicated, and that's in the same way that Paul Wesley is not trying to do Shatner.
No.
No, but what I will say about his performance versus Vulcan number 17 is that I don't know if the guy that played Core is a Trek fan or not. I don't know. I I have no idea. But
no clue.
I know that he at least prepared for the role by watching some episodes. You can't convince me he didn't. He knew enough about Klingons and about maybe the character that he was playing that he watched some Core episodes, just to get an idea for the man. And so based on that, he was able to base his performance on traditional on Klingons, and it was nuanced and it wasn't one note, because even Klingons, it's so easy to take this species and make them one note. Oh, I am a warrior, I am this. We've seen so many people that come on to do a guest spot as a Klingon that can be one note. This guy didn't, and I appreciate the effort that was put in.
Yeah, I guarantee that at the very least he watched the episode title is now fallen out of my head. The Organian episode.
The one with Errand of Mercy.
Errand of Mercy.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could see that in his performance. Like I said, there were a couple times where he sort of emphasized words in a way that felt a little bit like the way Core did. So I want him to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see that. I would love to see Kang and Koloth too. Just for fun. And then also whichever Dax there's right now. But small universe syndrome. I know people aren't necessarily going to want to see that.
Can we get a year one after this is done?
I know.
Please.
I don't think we are going to. They've already struck the sets.
Down the sets already. But... Unless they're going to redo them so it looks like the original series. They're going to go over to Ticonderoga and film it there.
Oh, my Lord. Please, no.
No. Well, I agree. I would love it if they had, gone and transitioned into Kirk's crew, but yeah. Right. So Una's interrogating this woman. She gives Una information, megahertz. I don't remember what the number was. And that was the information that she was going after. And then when Core and his men walk in, she kills herself with a Mbenga. Mbenga diagnoses the poison she used from 30 feet away or whatever. That was
like a plant, right?
Yeah. Una allows Core to think that she killed the woman, even though that wasn't what Core wanted. But Core is impressed because he says information is valuable, brutality more so. Which is quite a chilling line. And then we get from Mbenga's discussion of who Core is, that he is a direct descendant of Kalas. Previously, he'd been discussed as a member of the Imperial Court family, but this is the first time he's been mentioned as a direct descendant of Kalas. So that's interesting to me. We don't know a lot about Kalas and his family, so I always like to learn more about that stuff.
It's interesting that we don't know a lot, considering he's, unforgettable.
Yeah. Well, yes. This is just, okay, every new Star Trek that comes out is just a new piece of historical information to add to the
This is the Aeneid.
Is Trek. Yeah. So at that point, they realize that going on with this is not a good idea. So they're going to go leave town and hide in the shuttle, but they don't have the paperwork to pass the checkpoint that has been set up since they came into town. A man who tries to go through the checkpoint is stopped and killed because he doesn't have his papers. Uhura reacts to it and gets arrested. And this is when we learn that Nivette is also the leader of the resistance, because the bartender, who's named Jalem, comes and finds them and takes them to a different place to discuss what's going on.
Yep.
His acting was also really good. I liked him as well, the bartender guy.
He was
also
good, yeah.
a great agent. Yeah.
Yeah. Uhura gets interrogated. We talked about this a bit earlier. I love the Rorschachs. Why did they show her a Starfleet picture? Just because we as the audience know she's Starfleet.
At that point, I felt like he thought she was Starfleet, because then he asked what color the trees were in her on her, which was like, and I thought for sure he had caught her at that point, but apparently not.
Yeah, if we come back to this story ever, I think we will find out that he knew something wasn't quite lining up, but decided not to mess with it at this time because he had other things to do.
I liked the idea of the mind probe and also the design of it. This was another thing that was throwback TOS to me. I feel like that would have been a TOS plot device. It's like, oh, this is a mind probe, you know, and with the lights and stuff. I don't know. I felt like that was executed well. I like that part of it.
I agree. Yeah. And then, of course, we get yet again confirmation that Uhura not only understands and speaks Klingon, but different dialects of it as well, despite what we saw in The Undiscovered Country.
That's fine, though, because she's going to get her entire mind wiped in a couple years.
Yes, and I accept that. But yeah. So she finds out their plans. Her ID gets verified because the bartender does shenanigans, and she's free to go. So then we find out that Nivette, the real Nivette, has gone missing. She was supposed to go into that power plant to get the detonator, or the thing that was going to be on the detonator. They go into her office, okay, and they find her corpse in a cryo chamber. That was a hell of a scene.
Yeah. Yeah, because apparently the real Nivette had been poisoned, and she knew she was poisoned and made it to the cryo chamber to try to save herself, and it didn't work.
There's discussion in this about planets ending up on the wrong end of the treaty line, and the fact that this wasn't a pre-warp civilization we talked about earlier. I'm wondering if this was a Federation planet that got, maybe not a Federation planet, obviously not a Federation planet, but a planet that was on the Federation side of the border and got moved over. Yeah, like what happened with the Cardassians and the Federation.
Yeah, and that was, I think, that was to continue the Casablanca references, right? Because as people may or may not know, the movie Casablanca was actually filmed during World War II, is set in 1941 in Casablanca in French Morocco, which we can get into the colonialism of the existence of French Morocco at another time. But at the time was a very complicated political situation in that Germany had defeated France and occupied part of France, and left the rest of France as a puppet state, and then the French colonies were in a different situation where they technically weren't under German authority but also weren't free.
Yeah. And Rommel was in North Africa inching toward them anyway, so.
Yes.
Yeah. So real Nivette is dead, so at this point Una feels the need to at least see through this one particular attempt that they're trying to make to shut down the force field, to make the EMP happen. Okay. And Benga tries to talk her out of it, which I think he was smart to do, but we all knew where that was going. And this happens because what Uhura had overheard was that the Klingons were going to create a barrier around the planet that will vaporize unauthorized ships, which is a little bit more technology than I remember them having, but that's okay. All I could think of, we're back to Spaceballs. All I could think of was the shield around Druidia, you know. And the little door to open it.
Hope they have cans of air.
Which they stole in Rogue One.
That's true, they did.
When I watched Rogue One the first time, that's all I could think about was the from Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm. Right. So then Core comes in again, and we have that's earlier when we have the scene with the music. Now I can't remember. Where does the scene where they try to overdo the Klingon music?
This was a missed opportunity for number one to be singing, because we've already established she has an excellent singing voice, and she's good in like the lounge singer kind of thing.
So
I could have had her singing again.
Really like that music scene because it is directly referencing both previous Star Trek and Casablanca. Because the song the Klingons are singing is a Klingon drinking song, which we see Worf sing in The Way of the Warrior. And
repeatedly other times.
Oh, yes. It first shows up in The Way of the Warrior, but it shows up many other times. And there's a very famous scene in Casablanca where the German soldiers are in the nightclub singing a song, and the French citizens all stand up and sing the Marseillaise to drown them out. And that's what this is referencing as well, where they do their own music then after.
It's beautiful. So then Una has this moment of she's finding out that Nivette is going to be the enforcer basically against her own people when the Klingons put up this force field. This scene reminded me of the scene in the cafe in Inglourious Bastards. When the German guy he's the SS officer is talking to the girl, and she's having to play along. Except Una's much cooler about it, of course. So then we cut to Una going into the power plant to find the thing, and that gets the process of getting there gets kind of yada yada, but that's okay.
Oh, more good lighting stage in this one. That scene was cool too. I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. I don't know. Like I'm a film geek, so when I saw the shot shot in the hallway, I was like, oh, this is good. I like the way that they're framing this.
Yeah. So then she gets stopped by the guy who had recognized her at the beginning, who we find out is actually the guy who poisoned the real Nivette. And he was very confused until he figured out that she was an imposter. He attacks her. She uses her Starfleet training to turn it around on him and puts the detonator on him and just waits, because it's going to go off as soon as he goes past a checkpoint. And that is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, that was great.
Doesn't her species also have like superhuman strength or something?
I'm
stronger than the average.
Yeah, I'm not sure what all she has. But yes, possibly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway. In my head canon.
I guess they. No, they do, because isn't their gravity higher as well?
Yeah.
In addition to the air, isn't their gravity also higher? Because that was part of why Pike was having so much trouble when he went to visit the lawyer.
That's right.
In addition to the oxygen problem.
Yeah. So that's
her muscles are pretty strong.
Yeah. So that's not from the genetic enhancement. That's just how they are.
Well, I mean, it might also be from that.
Well, yeah, add to it. But... So we get this celebratory moment when the force field, when the EMP goes off and the force field drops, and we have zero information about how the people of this planet are going to use this to get rid of the Klingons or push back against the Klingons. Which part of me is like, I want to know more. And then part of me likes because we are just seeing this little bit of this story, and that's all we're seeing. And
I mean, all we
that's
really
just
know
how
that
life
this
is.
does is that it allows a bunch of them to escape now.
Yeah. Which maybe is the only point.
Yeah.
You know.
But some of them are going to stay and fight, because, like, the bartender is clearly going to keep up the fight.
Mm-hmm. So he takes over the resistance from Una. And then on the shuttle back, we learn that Mbenga's first Starfleet posting put him in a position of killing a bunch of people from an opposition party who were stopping him from getting to a hospital where he had patients he needed to save. I like this Mbenga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Isn't he like, I don't know. Isn't his character sort of gray and dark enough? I was like, do they need to add that? Like, I don't know. I wasn't as into it as you guys were.
Okay.
I don't know.
He had to.
I don't know. It feels like it fits for his character.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Like,
I mean,
that's what like started
fit,
him towards what he ended up doing, which was the Special Forces stuff, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to know why or how he came to was he like trained in some kind of martial arts or something prior to that as like a exercise meditative thing, and then he used it in this way? Or did he just kind of go berserk on these people, and then Starfleet was like, we need to train you to do this right? You know, I want to know more about this story. But again, we probably won't get to know. So
how many mass murdering doctors do we know throughout stories, like, you know, as like heroes? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's always been a sort of a weird thing about his character. I don't know. And the more they dive into that, the more I'm just kind of like, ah. Yeah, I like Mbenga, but I'm like, I don't know. It just doesn't, to me, like, add up. I don't know.
Well, we're talking about, you know, somebody who was in a war, and you're going to find doctors who also used their knowledge to kill in wars, or had to kill in wars. He doesn't seem to relish it by any means. He seems to regret it deeply, but
yeah,
you know, it's a necessity. Yeah.
I'd like to see like more of a prequel with him, where it's more like the show MASH, where he's sitting around like in a tent,
I was just thinking about
drunk
MASH.
with people.
Yeah.
Hijinks ensue with Dr. Mbenga.
I would watch the Star Trek MASH show. That would be great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you asked that was the first place I went. I was like, there's got to be a character. Did any of those doctors have to kill people? And I'm sure they did. I just don't. I haven't. It's been a long time since I've watched more than, you know, in passing. But of course, the TV show wasn't as dark as the movie. I'm sure there's in the movie it's that way. So.
No, in the TV show, only the theme song was dark.
And not really, because if you didn't know,
and not really because they didn't use the lyrics.
Yeah, they didn't use the lyrics. I remember the first time I heard the lyrics for that, I said, "Oh, whoa."
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and then we head back to Enterprise, and the color comes back, and
I like that. I thought that was a cool ending. It was like a little chef's kiss at the end of the episode. They didn't linger on it too long. It was subtle. And it was just, like, on her face, like looking out into space, like the whole framing of that. Again, like whoever, like the cinematographer for this particular episode should get some type of award. I thought they did a great job.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts on this episode?
When the agent that Una is questioning in the beginning kills herself with the capsule in her mouth, Mbenga says that he thinks it was from the Borgia plant, which is a direct reference to the man trap, because that was the plant that the salt vampire claimed the security officer ate before dying.
Good catch.
Wow. Yeah, Thad. Good job.
Which is also a reference to Lucretia Borgia, who supposedly poisoned a lot of people.
Yes, there is that
supposedly
as well.
/ actually.
Almost certainly did.
Yes.
Have either of you guys seen the film The Good German?
I have. I've also read the book that it's based on, which is better than the movie.
Oh, okay. I did really, really like the movie, though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to beat with that cast.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some of this. Well, of course, that movie was sort of based on Casablanca too. So I mean, but anyway, yeah, there was some of that I saw in this as well, especially where like the female lead in The Good German, played by Cate Blanchett, was sort of playing both sides as well. And you know, it's there's like set against the backdrop of World War II, and it's like obviously like the war has ended, but like Germany has been split up into the different, you know, different people are controlling different parts of Germany. Anyway, if you guys you know, like noir films, that's a really good one. It's a modern one. Came out in the late 90s, I think. Anyway,
yeah.
Plus, I mean, who doesn't like George Clooney?
Yeah.
And Tobey Maguire, that was, it almost took me out of it because I was just so shocked by Tobey Maguire in this. But it does demonstrate his range. I'm not going to give too much away, but that's the different side of Tobey Maguire.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Where can listeners find you online, and what current work and upcoming work would you like to mention?
Guys, if you want to find me, I'm all over Blue Sky. So MW207 is my Blue Sky. I do post there quite regularly. And then if you want to, you know, hear more from me and films, you like films, I host Cinema Z with Matt Jennings of 1701, A Blurred Story fame. Yeah, we do have new episodes. There are episodes that were recorded that have yet to drop. I do promise there's more coming. It's been a few months, but you know, life happens. We've been busy, but there are a couple more episodes coming. And I think everybody's going to really, really enjoy them. We had a lot of fun, as we typically do. We laugh a lot on the pod. So if you like films and like silliness, you will enjoy Cinema Z Pod.
All right, Thad, where can people find you when you're not organizing an anti-fascist resistance? I know, I said it because listeners, he's got a shirt on that says Turkeys Against Fascism. So
the best place to find me is on Blue Sky. You can find links to all of my public socials and podcasts on my website, tyrannicus.net. That's tyranicus.net. Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not singing loudly to drown out fascists?
Yes, done that. All right. In addition to here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagyi here on the BQN, that short history podcast I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. I'm also happy to chat about our shows in the BQN Collective on Facebook, and I'm at the various socials, primarily Blue Sky, at the Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where you can see my opinions about Star Trek history and leftist anti-fascist politics. We didn't even get into the anti-fascist stuff in this episode. I didn't even think about that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they base it on Casablanca, and then and the Klingons become like the obvious Nazi analog, it's all right there.
Yeah. Don't think too hard.
It's not hard to find fascism these days, sadly.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Don't forget all our other great shows on BQN. Here's a recording of Amy Nelson to tell you all about them.
What's happening on BQN, you ask? We're not just a network. We're a universe of exploration, entertainment, and deep dives into the topics you love. Here's your star map to the sonic adventures awaiting you. Let's chart the Star Trek cosmos with all good things. Embark on a comprehensive journey through the entire Star Trek universe with the insightful crew of Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. From classic to current, they cover it all. Galaxy class, engage. Steven and Stefan pilots this Alpha Quadrant mission, meticulously covering all aspects of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Infinite diversity. Stay current with the newest Star Trek frontiers alongside Chrissie and Thad. Union Federation. Whether your allegiance lies with Starfleet or the Planetary Union, Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley offer a unified front, discussing both current Star Trek and the truly Trek at heart, the Orville. Crack open that book with Peter and the Trek Book Club podcast. Delve into a rich tapestry of Star Trek's beta canon. What's the tea, Bev? Christo spills the latest Trek news and fandom insights with an essential LGBTQIA+ perspective, complete with engaging guest interviews. Our visual voyages that you can find on YouTube as well as podcasts are Trek Masters. Think you're a Starfleet Academy graduate? Test your knowledge with Davey and MC's challenging Star Trek quiz show. And the View Screen. Tune in live on Sundays for your dose of a Trek-inspired talk show. Kelvin and Amy host new 8-week seasons each spring and fall. But beyond the final frontier, we have Bargain Bin Gamer. Davey and Mitch, your self-proclaimed gamer guides, lead you to digital treasures, unearthing and reviewing the most affordable video game gems. Cinema Z. Grab your metaphorical popcorn for Mark and Matt's cinematic deep dives, unearthing overlooked films that demand your attention. History with the Szilagyi. In order to never repeat it, tune in as Chrissie and Jason deliver bite-sized snippets of historical events from around the globe and transformational journeys. Host Lex Rosa explores what it means to embrace authenticity in the face of societal expectations. You can unlock deeper levels of engagement with our exclusive patron perks. The Hive Mind is where you can join our random script readings, live reaction shows, and roundtable discussions. You can also now watch All Good Things as an extended video edit and get a background look into the creation of a podcast. Also, check out our back catalog of It's Green and Amy's Math Moments. Stay connected to our ever-expanding galaxy of content by following BQN Podcasts on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Discord. We appreciate you choosing BQN to fill your auditory needs. Thank you for listening. Assimilate the audio.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please
That's me.
Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you want to reach out, you can find the network on the socials at BQN Podcasts or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the BQN podcasts in our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and join our Discord server. When you next hear from us, we'll be talking about the next episode of Strange New Worlds, Level 5 Transporter Accident. Until then, peace and long life.
Well, at least you aren't watching the movie, which has drastic changes, and then pretending you read the book. And then being called out because you watched the movie and it has drastic changes.
Oh, I'm sure that happens a lot, actually.
There was a whole episode of Seinfeld about it.
I don't remember that one.
George watched the movie The Breakfast Club for a book club that he was going to for some woman, and there's a character in the book that's gay who is not in the movie, I guess. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't read the book.
I've seen the movie. I haven't read the book. I didn't know there was a book.
Yeah. Anyway, here on Book Trek, about books we haven't read.
I just enjoy watching Mark's facial reactions as we get further and further afield.
I'm here for you.